Good evening and a very warm welcome to all of you wherever you're joining us from to witness this Tier 1 Grand Finale of the 4th season of the Fundays Liga Quiz League. We've reached this point today after 940 matches, 850 plus questions and 392 wonderful players who've played throughout this 4th season of FLQL, the very popular Mimir Quiz League. And today we have the best 4 out of the 392 players joining us here. Some familiar faces, some first-time finalists. We will soon find out who they are. But before that, a couple of big shout-outs. Flames by FLQL returns on November 7th with a brand new format. It's going to be a snappy 6-week league with audios, videos, and images. There are 2 tracks for you to potentially play. There is a little bit of an India-centric track, which is called Flames India, or there is Flames S2, which is for all our international players and indeed for everyone who wants to take part in that one. So the video description below has the link for the 2nd season of Flames. Do go sign up for either Flames S2 or Flames India. Now, this would not be possible without the support of these wonderful people who've been the pillar of support behind all this, a staggering 450 plus games read by the 12 names that you see on the screen. Very big shout out and thank you to Amlan, Tanmay, Sanbir, Shanko, Shubhaditya, Surashish, Shuvajit, Ritvik, Anup, Pranav, and Shashwata. Thank you very much for all your support and to everyone else who read games for us this season. Okay, a quick look at the honors board. We of course have the 4 top players here, but here are some other stats for you to chew on. Most owns this season, Nikhil Soneja from Dubai, big shout out to you, and to 2 of our finalists, Aniket Khasgiwale and Samanth Subramanian, closely followed by our next 2 finalists, Pat Gibson on 97 and Vinoo on 90. Making up the top 5 also are Major Chandrakant Nair and Shane Whitlock. Congratulations to all of you. On the aggregate correct answers, we once again see 2 of our finalists here, Samanth and Aniket with 156, Vinoo, another finalist with 148, Sankhya with 143, Pat with 142, and Long and Ian with 138 each. Well done to all of you. And the best bonus strike rate, Dave McBrien tops that with 94%, Nico and Shane with 93, Ujjwal with 92, Pat, Drew, and Long with 90. So these were the top performances. And here are our topic champions. As you know, the league has a clutch of topics. Let's look at our topic champions. The entertainment topic, topping that is Jayakanthan with 26 points, Varun Rajiv with 24 points, Praveen VR with 22 points, and Tejasvi Udupa with 22 points. Well done. In the history topic, we had Prakar Gupta topping with 26, closely followed by Kunal and Dhruv with 23, Movin Miranda with 22, as was Rajiv Rai, Vinoo Sanjay, Aniket Khasgiwale, and Keshav Guha. On the lifestyle topic, we have Aparna Kalakuri topping with 25, Anne with 22, Jaydev with 22, Dibyo, Jayanti, Avinash, Manjula, and Nikhil Sonde all with 21. In the culture topic, we had Eric topping with 26, Edward Stan with 23, and Srinath Bhashyam with 21. Those were the 20 plus scores. The world topic, finally, we have a finalist who's top topics, Aniket Khasgiwale with 28. Followed by Vinoo, another finalist with 25, Vikram with 25, and Srinath with 24. In sports, we had Dave taking the gold medal position with 25, closely followed by Pat, Aniket, and Samrat Sengupta on 23. Also on 23 were Andy Chrisley and Anup Kumar. Pranjal, Bevan, Sumantra, and Patrick all finished with 22. In the sciences, we had Manu Sudhakar with 24, Adarsh Kumar Mahapatra with 23, and on 22 were Matthew Marcus, Manoj Saranathan, Swarup Ramaswamy, and Abhimanyu Barade. The media topic saw Andrew Whittingham top with 24, followed by Jayakanthan and Pranjal on 23, Sean Webb, Benny Myers, and Matthew Marcus on 22. Congratulations to all of you. And a few shout outs. Nikhil Soneja from Dubai was tied along with 2 of our finalists, as you already saw, for the most owns. Sankhya from Chennai had more aggregate correct answers than Pat with 143 ahead of Pat's 142. Dave McBrien, top of the BA hit rate charts. Ujjwal Deb, highest ranked player in the league not to be in the final, he finished 3rd. Dave, Nikhil, Chandrakant Nair, Sachin Deshpande, Amit Dey, and Jayakanthan finished ahead of at least one finalist on the league table, but unfortunately, given the format, they missed out in the knockouts. And Pat and Samanth, special shout out to you guys, the only two players in the league to win all 8 games. Right. And of course, I must also tell you that in the finalist list today, we have 2 first-time FLQL finalists, Samanth Subramanian and Aniket Khasgiwale. We have Pat Gibson vying for his 3rd title out of 4 seasons. And we have Vinoo Sanjay, our eternal finalist, who's been in all 3 season finales so far and will hope to take his 1st title today. Let's meet our finalists. On seat number 1 today is Vinoo Sanjay from Mumbai, 11th in the league, 5th on the own questions, as you already saw, 90 out of 128, and answered a staggering 148 questions overall to be 3rd, and an 88% hit rate on the bonus attempts. Vinoo, welcome once again to the FLQL finals. What are you looking forward to this time?
There's been some last mile issues in the last 3 times, so let's see if that can be bridged this time.
All right, let's hope you cross that last mile. All the very best. On seat number 2 from London, England, we have Samanth Subramanian, who finished 2nd in the overall league, and as you just saw earlier, won all his 8 games. Was tied on the own questions, missing only 30 of them overall, and was tied on answering the most number of questions, 156, and had an 84% hit rate. Samanth, how have you liked the league, and what are you thinking of for the final today?
Oh, I'm just hoping to come 2nd to Pat. I feel that would be sufficient for me today.
All right. Some mental calisthenics going on over there. All right. On seat number 3, we welcome all the way from Sydney, Australia, Aniket Khasgiwale, who finished 6th in the league and was tied 1st on own questions with 98 and on overall questions with 156 and an 84% hit rate as well. Welcome, Aniket. Tell us about your experience of FLQL season 4.
Hi, Venki. I really enjoyed FLQL season 4. I think the questions have been quite great, and it's really fun to play all of these league games as well as the knockouts. So just looking forward to another fun game today.
All right, welcome and all the best, Aniket. And on seat 4, we have the familiar face from Wigan, England, Pat Gibson, 1st on the league, 4th on own questions, 5th on overall questions, and a 90% bonus hit rate. Welcome, Pat. How have you liked it? And what are your thoughts on the final?
It's been very enjoyable. It's going to be a tough final. I just hope I play well and see what happens.
All right. All the best, gentlemen. We will get started with the grand finale very, very shortly.
All the best.
So welcome once again to the grand finale of season 4 of the Fundays Liga Quiz League. Today we have on seat number 1, Vinoo Sanjay, on seat number 2, Samanth Subramanian, on seat number 3, Aniket Khasgiwale, and on seat number 4, Pat Gibson. 64 questions in pairs of 2 questions each, direct to each of the players over 8 rounds. And let's get started with question number 1 going to Vinoo Sanjay. 30 seconds on the direct and 10 seconds on the pass, and visuals will come up wherever required. Vinoo, here is question number 1. In 2013, the Canton of Geneva finally officially recognized the names of streets belonging to which entity? This entity has street names like Rue Démocrite, Esplanade des Particules, and Route Rabi within it. The last one named after Isidore Isaac Rabi, the Nobel winner for his work on nuclear magnetic resonance. You have 10 more seconds. CERN is the right answer. That's a good start. You're on the board with CERN. That is the right answer. Well done. It's a point to you. Here is question number 2. The imperial coat of arms of Ethiopia during the reign of Haile Selassie features which throne that also gives rise to the name of a peak in Kyrgyzstan and a hill near Dal Lake in Srinagar. This throne of the wise is described as having 12 lions on the steps leading to the throne proper.
Throne of Solomon.
Throne of Solomon is a good answer there. That is correct. So that's 2-1-2 to you. That's the Throne of Solomon. And Takht-e-Sulaiman is the name of the peaks of the hills mentioned in the question. So that's 2-1-2 to Vinoo. We go on now to Samanth. Samanth, here is your question. Which cricketer was an under-12 national chess champion, having represented India at the Asian Youth Championship in Kozhikode and at the World Youth Chess Championship in Greece?
Chahal.
Chahal is right. After a quick start, Yuzvendra Chahal, the Indian leg spinner, is also a rated chess player. Well done. Here is question number 2. Peter Conradi wrote the 2001 biography of which author-philosopher? In the biography, he specifies that the title of this author's first published novel, Under the Net, alludes to Wittgenstein's Tractatus, which describes the net of discourse behind which the world's particulars hide. An eye-opening tidbit about the author is that a recurrent character in their works, a demonic male enchanter, is said to have been modeled on their lover, the Nobel laureate Elias Canetti. You have 10 seconds.
Say Umberto Eco.
Not Umberto Eco. Passes to Aniket.
Pass.
Passes to Pat.
Pass.
Passes to Vinoo.
Pass.
No one venturing a guess on that one. There was a little bit of a clue there saying eye-opening. This is Iris Murdoch. This is Iris Murdoch. All right. Aniket, we come to your directs. What shared first and last name connects a world chess champion from 1963 to 69 and another grandmaster who you see in the photo, who was incidentally named after the farmer? The younger of the two earned a lifetime ban from chess.com's Pro Chess League for doing the kind of thing that may get you a lifetime ban from FLQL as well.
Tigran Petrosian.
Excellent answer there. Tigran Petrosian is absolutely right. Very well cracked on Tigran Petrosian. The younger Tigran Petrosian was banned after strong suspicions of cheating, a kind of recurring topic in the chess world, it seems, even as we speak. All right. Next question to Aniket. Hasivat, whose name means Ivat the Pilgrim, is an educated and learned man. In contrast to Hasivat is Karagos, whose name means black eye, an illiterate peasant. These two form the main characters of a type of shadow theater called Karagos plays. In which modern day country did they originate in the 16th century? You have 10 seconds. I'll have to press you for an answer, Aniket.
Azerbaijan.
Not Azerbaijan. Passes to Pat.
Pass.
Passes to Vinoo.
Georgia.
Not Georgia. Passes to Samanth.
Turkey.
Is the right answer. It came up during the Ottoman period. They did this did spread to Georgia and other countries. It originated in the Ottoman period in Turkey. Well done. That's a good steal by Samanth. All right, Pat, your directs coming up. The long-time rivalry between this sibling pair was manifested more recently in the Twitter bios, where one of them put singer since 1943, only to be followed by the others playback singer since 1942. Name these two siblings, one a Bharat Ratna and Dada Saheb Phalke awardee, and the other the last woman to receive the Dada Saheb Phalke award.
Bosley and Manshekar.
Excellent answer. I'll give it to you. That is correct. This is Lata Mangeshkar and Asha Bhonsle. Absolutely right. So those were the two siblings. And of course, Lata Mangeshkar was Bharat Ratna and Dada Saheb Phalke awardee. And Asha Bhonsle won the Dada Saheb Phalke in the year 2000. Was the last.
Pat is cracking India questions. The world is ending.
All right. Okay. Here's your next direct match. Rue Jean Perrine at CERN is named after Jean-Baptiste Perrine, who won the Nobel Prize for Physics for his verification of Einstein's theory of what phenomenon that contributed to 1/4 of his Annus Mirabilis. It gets its alternative name Pedasus from the Greek for leaping.
Brownian motion.
Excellent answer. Brownian motion. Absolutely right. That gets you a 2-on-2 as well. So the first round is done. Pretty close game, of course. Nothing to call at this point. Vinoo, we start with you again. Here is your first question of the second round. The list of awards won by a pioneering American R&D organization reads as follows: 9 Nobel Prizes, 5 Turing Prizes, 5 Emmys, 1 Grammy, and 1 Oscar. Which organization are we talking about? The person it audibly traces its nomenclature back to is also the source of a scientific unit. You have 10 seconds.
Bell Labs.
Bell Labs is the right answer. Bell Labs, of course. Alexander Graham Bell and Decibel coming from that. And this is Bell Labs, Bell Labs, what have you. All right, next question. Which jazz legend created the groundbreaking 1958 soundtrack for Louis Malle's film debut, Elevated to the Gallows? It was described by critic Phil Johnson as the loneliest trumpet sound you'll ever hear and the model for sadcore music ever since. A quintet of musicians involved recorded the entire soundtrack in one night.
Miles Davis.
Miles Davis is right. Another full house for Vinoo. This is the Miles Davis Quintet. Miles Davis, that's correct. Okay, Samanth, over to you. The Sun throne was constructed in the early 19th century and used as the imperial throne of a Central Asian country. What more popular name was given to the throne because of the marriage of the ruler to Taos Khanum Taj ol Dole? The word Taos translates to certain specific members in the pheasant family. Despite the name, it's not the same artifact with a strong connection to Indian history.
Peacock throne.
The peacock throne is right. Well done. That's the peacock throne. Your next direct. Blank in Rhyme, alternative name, 7 lithographs by Claude from the watercolors of Blank Blank with a chapelet of verse by Aleister Crowley in 1907, is his poetic interpretation of a number of which French artists' artworks, alongside lithographic reproductions of 7 sketches with watercolors of female nudes, which the artist sculptor presented to him during a visit in 1903. The modernist sculptor was a friend of Crowley's during the Belle Epoque in Paris.
Can you just tell us how many letters in each?
Okay, I can do that. That's 7, 5. Just the surname will do, of course.
Rodin.
Rodin is right. Auguste Rodin. Well done. That is correct. 2-on-2. All right, Aniket, yours. What 2011 non-narrative documentary by Ron Freak, lauded by Roger Ebert as an uplifting experience, takes its name from the Jain term for the worldly life characterized by continuous rebirths and reincarnations in various realms of existence?
Samsara.
Excellent answer. Samsara is absolutely right. For those so inclined, it's also an increasingly popular brand of gin made in Goa, Samsara. All right. Here's the next question, Aniket. Which notoriously reclusive musician had a freewheeling cameo in a 1999 episode of the TV show Dharma and Greg?
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan is right. Simple one there. Bob Dylan. Freewheeling, of course. Being right. Pat, your questions. The establishment you see in the image, Jonathan's Blank Blank, was opened in 1680 and subsequent to a trend started by a John Castaigne in 1698, began to be put to a completely different use. This is the only 2-part question of the quiz. What institution thus started And what kind of an establishment was Jonathan's when it opened in 1680?
Was it a coffee house and did it become Lloyd's of London?
Coffee House and Lloyd's of London. I'll have to pass you on that to Aniket.
Pass.
Passes to Vinoo.
Pass.
Passes to Samanth.
Pass.
Passing. All right. Pat had one part right. Jonathan's was the coffee house, and we were very close with the other part. Pat, it was not Lloyd's of London. It was the London Stock Exchange. The London Stock Exchange, what happened was there was the Royal Exchange nearby, and the commodity traders were too rowdy over there, were sent out. And so they started convening in coffee houses, and Jonathan's Coffee House was one of them. And that started off the London Stock Exchange. All right. Here we go with your next direct. There's been a lot of speculation about this Pati, Patni or Bo, husband, wife, and the other troika. But the one thing that connects them is that they were subjects of acclaimed clicks by which photographer, whose works, according to his 2004 New York Times obituary, helped define America's image of style, beauty, and culture for the last half century.
Avedon?
Avedon is an excellent answer. Absolutely right. That's Richard Avedon. Well done. All right. That's 2 rounds done. Vinoo and Samanth on 4. Aniket and Pat on 3. But it's very close in very early days. Vinoo, we come back to you. Question 1 of round 3. Once considered the largest film studio in Asia, Chennai's Vijayavahini was formed by the merger of Vijaya Studios, founded by X, the first Dadasaheb Phalke awardee for a career predominantly in South Indian cinema, and Vahini Studios run by M. Narayan Swamy. Interestingly, the person Y who oversaw the merger was X's brother and himself known for the production of classics like Maya Bazar and Rama Shyam. Who are X and Y? Both Dadasaheb Phalke award-winning siblings. And we need full names, of course.
Pass.
Okay, that passes on to Aniket.
Pass.
Passes to Pat.
Pass.
Samanth.
Pass.
All right, everyone passing on this one. This was B. Narasimha Reddy and B. Nagi Reddy. B. Narasimha Reddy and B. Nagi Reddy. 2 siblings there, both the Dadasaheb Phalke winners. All right. Next question, Vinoo. Which book won the 2011 Pulitzer for General Nonfiction? The author wrote it in response to a statement by one of his patients that said, "I'm willing to go on fighting, but I need to know what is it that I'm battling." The cover poignantly features a member of the infraorder Brachyura. You have 10 seconds.
Cancer.
Sorry, what's your answer?
Cancer.
Cancer. No. Aniket?
The Emperor of Maladies.
I'll prompt you for a little more precise answer. Quickly.
The Emperor of All Maladies.
That is the right answer. The Emperor of All Maladies. It was a book title, so I needed you to be precise. Sorry, Vinoo, it was about cancer, of course, but the book title was The Emperor of All Maladies, and the crab, which was the zodiac sign for cancer, was featured on the cover, and that's the Brachyura clue. All right. Samanth, your question. In 1767, the shadow puppetry shows Theatre d'Ombre started becoming popular and caused quite a stir. An ongoing Oriental fashion trend at the time, especially in the decorative arts, led to the popularity of these shows that were originally called ombre blanc, denoting their origin. Fill in the blank. These were shows that were popular in Europe, specifically in France.
Say Japonais.
Not Japonais. We pass you on to Pat.
Chinoise.
Chinoise is right. Absolutely correct. Chinoise. So the Chinoise series, a fashion trend in pottery and other ornamental arts, gave popularity to this. Japanese came a little later after the Meiji Restoration in the 1850s or so. Right. Let's move on to the next question for Samanth. Canting arms are heraldic bearings that represent the bearer's name in a visual pun or rebus. Which American president's personal coat of arms features a blacksmith's anvil? A little knowledge of German will help. You have 10 seconds, Samanth. You'll need an answer.
I'll say Van Buren.
Not Van Buren. Passes on to Aniket.
Pass.
Passes to Pat.
Eisenhower.
Eisenhower is an excellent answer. Eisenhower. Eisenhower in German is Ironhuer. So that's how you get Eisenhower. Nicely done there. Okay, get steal by Pat. Okay, Aniket, your questions. Called one of the greatest pictures ever taken of a woman by feminist author Camille Paglia, the cover photo for Patti Smith's debut album Horses was taken by which former partner of Smith's? He is best known for capturing the perfect moment in black and white. Ten seconds.
Eisenstadt.
Not Eisenstadt. Passes on to Vinoo.
Pass.
Samanth.
Pass.
Pat.
Mapplethorpe.
Mapplethorpe is absolutely right. That's Robert Mapplethorpe. And the perfect moment was the most comprehensive retrospective of works that Mapplethorpe had shot over the years. New York-based Robert Mapplethorpe. Another good steal by Pat. Aniket, your second question. Blow Up, the Michelangelo Antonioni movie that was adapted into Jane Bhi Do Yaron in Bollywood, had a soundtrack composed by which alliteratively named jazz pianist and band leader who was a former member of the Miles Davis Quintet. Jazz standards created by him include Cantaloupe Island and Watermelon Man, and his 2007 tribute album to Joni Mitchell won the Grammy for Album of the Year, only the second jazz album to do so. Ten seconds.
Korea.
No. Passes to Vinoo.
Hancock.
Hancock is right. Herbie Hancock. That is the right answer. Well done, Vinoo. Herbie Hancock. Okay, Pat, your directs. 3. What shared first and last name, at least homonymically, but technically separated by one letter, connects the second man to come out as gay in Major League Baseball while playing, also in the photo, and another baseball player who has greater reputation as a manager? The former became the MLB's first ambassador for inclusion, while the latter is famous for coining a term that has nothing to do with the Hungarian origin word that originally meant to cut. You have 10 seconds.
Yogi Berra.
Not Yogi Berra. Passes on to Samanth.
Pass.
Aniket.
Billy Bean.
Billy Bean is a good answer. Billy Bean, of course, the manager Billy Bean was famous for coming up with sabermetrics, the detailed statistical analytical way to look at baseball. And that sabermetrics was the Society of American Baseball Research, and not for its cutting edge strategy as in Saber the Sword. Nice steal by Aniket. Pat, your next question. Aleister Crowley also had a career working in intelligence. He claimed to have invented the use of which popular gesture in World War II as a magical foil to the Nazis' use of the swastika. He allegedly passed this idea to the BBC and to the British Naval Intelligence Division through his connections in MI5, eventually winning approvals.
The V finger gesture, V for victory.
Absolutely right. This is the V for victory, V finger gesture. That is correct. And that brings us to the end of round 3, where we see that Pat has taken a small lead, is on 7 points. Vinoo and Aniket are on 5, and Samanth is on 4. Long way to go. Round 4 begins with Vinoo. It is Africa's 3rd largest of its kind and started in 1929. It is considered one of the best performing of all such ones in the Middle East, North Africa region. Of all the towns in the world, where is it?
Casablanca.
That is the right answer. It is Casablanca. And of course, I'm sure you worked out the clue on of all the gin joints in all the towns in the world. She chose to walk into mine. Casablanca. This is the Bourse de Casablanca. Well done. Here is your next question. Shown is the coat of arms of the head of the blank family of Portugal. Also a popular surname across the Latin world, fill in the blank. Knowing your Latin or Portuguese is essential in working out the answer from the visual. A certain businessman named Sergio with this surname started an eponymous chain that is headquartered in Dunstable in the UK. Ten seconds.
Fernando.
Sorry?
Fernando.
Not Fernando. Passes on to Samanth.
Pass.
Passes to Aniket.
Pass.
Pat.
Pass.
All right. The gentleman came up with a coffee chain that you might be familiar with, and it's called Costa, right? So this is the word Costa. This is where you get intercostal from. The intercostal muscles that protect the rib come from the same etymology. So the family got their name because they were near the coast, and so like the rib cage, they were flanking the shore, and therefore Costa. Right? Okay. Samanth, you're correct. Which part-time lover had a cameo on the Bill Cosby Show?
Whitney Houston.
Not Whitney Houston. Aniket?
Pass.
Vinoo?
Lionel Richie.
Not Lionel Richie. Pat?
Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder is right. It was Stevie Wonder. People going for the various versions of the song, I suppose, but this was Stevie Wonder. Okay, your next one, Samanth. Rishabhanatha is the first Tirthankara of Jainism. His son with Sunanda is commemorated with the statue of Gomateshwara at Shravanabelagola. What is this son's name? Something that would be more familiar to Indian moviegoers is the name of the main character in 2 blockbusters.
Bahubali.
Bahubali is right. That gets you a point. Aniket, your directs. Bell Labs won their first Emmy in 1997 for their work as part of a grand alliance that was started at the behest of the FCC to pool work from many major companies like Thomson, Philips, MIT, and so on, who were all working on improving the quality of the image that you see on your TV. This group famously standardized what technology term that is now associated with the resolution of 1080? You have 10 seconds.
NTSC.
Not NTSC. Samanth?
HD.
HD is all we wanted. High definition or HD for HD TV. That is correct. Aniket, your next one. Which cricketer represented the tall ferns at the 2008 Summer Olympics, giving up their hoop dreams for cricket once offered the captain's role in 2011? Ten seconds.
Bates.
Is the right answer. Susie Bates. Well done. That is correct. Susie Bates, the New Zealand cricketer. Tall Ferns is the New Zealand women's basketball team. And this is indeed Susie Bates. Well pulled out, Aniket. That's a great answer there. And Susie Bates. Right. Come to you. Researchers at the University College London found that the language used in Murdoch's Jackson Dilemma is noticeably simpler than in her earlier works. They suggested that the novel, written in longhand, with few revisions and little room for editorial interference, offers a unique opportunity to study the effects of what on spontaneous writing. Liz Cook, the cover artist, aimed to capture this effect visually, as you see here.
Dementia, Alzheimer's.
I will give it to you. It is Alzheimer's. That's what we specifically wanted. I heard you say Alzheimer's, so I'll give it to you. So the movie Iris also kind of talks about her challenges with Alzheimer's. So that's a good 1 point to Pat. And the final question of round 4. The Achenar Konigstrom shown here was also referred to as the Totius Regni Archistola, art stool of the whole realm. Since its establishment in the 790s by Charlemagne, it's been used as the coronation throne of 31 holders, starting with Henry II of what specific title? This was the title used by the German king following his election by the princes from the reign of Henry onward.
Holy Roman Emperor.
I'll have to prompt you on that.
Kaiser, Holy Roman Emperor.
Not Kaiser. I'm sorry. Passes to Samanth.
Us.
Passes to Aniket.
Us.
Passes to Vinoo.
Us.
All right. Holy Roman Emperor was very close, but we were looking for specifically for King of the Romans or Romanorum Rex or the Roman German King, Römisch Deutscher König. So Holy Roman Emperor was only a prompt. I think just before they actually become the Holy Roman Emperor. So that's the halfway point of the grand finale of FLQL season 4. And we have Pat Gibson in the lead with 9 points and a 3-way tie for second place. Vinoo, Sanjay, Samanth, Subramanian, and Aniket Khasgiwale are all on 6 points. Right. Vinoo, we begin the second half with you. In 2019, U2 teamed up with A.R. Rahman and released which song with a 6-letter title? The song starts out with a couplet from the Tirukkural. The title is lifted from a concept, a key virtue in all the major religions that originated in the Indian subcontinent, but especially in Jainism, where it is the foremost among the 5 verbs that they take.
Ahimsa.
Sorry?
Ahimsa.
Ahimsa is right. That is correct. It is Ahimsa. Second question. The Spec Tom features stories from a national epic, and the Spec Talk uses smaller puppets and a wide range of stories. They are shadow puppetry art forms that have a collective name referencing the ethnicity of the people who perform. Accompanied by the traditional Pinpeat musical ensemble, what style of shadow theatre are these two the primary forms of? You have 10 seconds.
Vayankulit.
Not Vayankulit. Passes on to Samanth.
This Khmer puppetry.
Perfect answer, Samanth. This is indeed Khmer Shadow Theatre. Khmer puppetry. If it said Cambodian, we would have accepted, but the perfect answer is actually Khmer Shadow Theatre. Well done. Samanth, your two directs coming up. What came into being when 24 professionals signed an agreement while sitting around a Platanus occidentalis tree on May 17, 1792?
New York Stock Exchange.
That is correct. The Platanus occidentalis is the buttonwood tree, also known as the American sycamore. And that's how you get the buttonwood agreement, which led to the New York Stock Exchange. Your next direct, Samanth. Alfie, the 1966 film that got Sir Michael Caine his first Oscar nomination, had an original soundtrack created by which now nonagenarian Jack saxophonist, widely referred to as the saxophone colossus. A number of his compositions, including St. Thomas, Olio, Doc C, and Eregin, which is Nigeria spelled backwards, have become jazz standards.
Sonny Rollins.
Sonny Rollins is right. That's a 2-on-2 for Samanth. Well done. Aniket, your questions. While one of them has directed the other multiple times, the only time the sibling pair appeared together on screen was the 1951 film Avara. Here, the younger brother played the adolescent version of the protagonist, who the elder brother essayed. Give the full names of these two siblings, also the sons of a fellow Dada Saheb Phalke awardee. Ten seconds to go.
Raj Kapoor and Shashi Kapoor.
That is correct. Raj Kapoor and Shashi Kapoor is correct. And of course, their father Prithviraj Kapoor was also Dada Saheb Phalke awardee. So that's Raj Kapoor and Shashi Kapoor. Nicely pulled out. Your second question. Biologist E.O. Wilson has won the Pulitzer Prize for General Nonfiction twice. The first for his 1979 work on human nature, and the second in 1991 for which book? The book took its title from the subject of his area of specialization. The subjects also provided the name of Achilles' army in the Iliad, subsequently contributing a word that means a follower or subordinate of a powerful person, one who carries out orders unquestioningly. Separately, two computer animated movies also deal with the same subject. You have 10 seconds, Aniket.
Minions.
Not Minions. Vinoo?
Pass.
Samanth?
Ants.
Say again.
Ants.
Ants. That's the right answer. Very well done. It is ants. So a little bit of a nice explanation here. So the movies, of course, were Ants and The Bug's Life, and Mirmax means ant in Greek, an image that evokes small and insignificant workers mindlessly fulfilling their duties, and the references to the word Myrmidon from the Myrmidons in the Iliad. Well done. The good steal by Samanth, who goes into the lead with that one, but two questions direct to Pat. Which musician had a cameo on Sex and the City when he played Seth? He gave love a bad name in the show by admitting to a counselor that he had ghosted women after having brief flings.
John Bon Jovi.
John Bon Jovi is right, because your next question. In 1983, Ken Thompson and Dennis Ritchie won the Turing Prize for developing what operating system while working at Bell Labs. Initially developed for internal use by Bell Systems, it was then licensed to outside parties like University of California, Berkeley, Microsoft, and Sun Microsystems.
Unix.
Unix is right. As simple as that. Unix, very nicely done. Let me also tell you that the Berkeley variant became BSD, the Microsoft variant became Xenix, and the Sun variant became Solaris. Right, 5 rounds done, close contest. Vinoo, we come back to you. Which musician made a quick cameo on Only Murders in the Building in an episode titled How Well Do You Know Your Neighbors? Not only did the musician act opposite the main characters in one scene, but he also sang a chilling rendition of Don't Stand So Close to Me in another. We'll need your guess, Vinoo.
Bruce Springsteen.
Not Bruce Springsteen. Passes on to Aniket.
Pass.
Samanth
Pass.
and Pat.
Sting.
Sting is right, of course. Sting is shown as one of the residents of the Arcadian in Only Murders in the Building. That was Sting. All right, Vinoo, your next question. If we tell you that Murdoch's biographer Peter Conradi gives Xenophon as the ultimate source of the title of her 1978 Booker Prize winning work, tell us which painting features on the cover of the first edition of this work.
Great Wave of Kanagawa.
Great Wave of Kanagawa is right. And do you know what the work was?
The Sea.
The sea.
The sea. That is correct. And the reference, of course, was from Xenophon's Anabasis of Thalata, the sea. Nicely worked out. Samanth, your questions. The younger brothers' first 2 directorial ventures were Dhool Ka Phool in 1959 and Dharmputra in 1961, both produced by the elder brother who was already an established Bollywood name. The 2 movies follow the same broad plot, with the difference that the first featured an illegitimate Hindu child brought up by a Muslim, the second an illegitimate Muslim child brought up by a Hindu. Give the full names of the 2 brothers who were bestowed with the Dadasaheb Phalke Award within 3 years of each other.
Yash Chopra, Raj Chopra.
Yash Chopra and Raj Chopra. I will prompt you for if you want to modify any part of your answer slightly.
Yash Chopra and Rajesh Chopra. Maybe that's the name.
Passing you on to Aniket.
B.R. Chopra and Yash Chopra.
B.R. Chopra and Yash Chopra. That's what we wanted. So B.R. Chopra and Yash Chopra. Right? And both of them won the Dadasaheb Phalke, I think, in 1998 and 2001, just within 3 years of each other. Good steal by Aniket. Samanth, your second question. Which Peruvian photographer took these photos of 2 successive princesses of Wales? The photograph of Diana that hangs today at the National Portrait Gallery was taken for Vanity Fair. And the person also went on to be the official photographer for portraits of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge on the occasion of their engagement in 2010.
Salgado?
Nope. Passes on to Aniket.
Pass.
Passes to Vinoo.
Us.
And Pat.
Testino.
Testino is a great answer. Absolutely right. That is Mario Testino. Fantastic answer there by Pat. Okay, Aniket, your questions. This image depicts the Sikha Dva Kofi, which is never allowed to touch the ground. While it is the royal throne, on solemn occasions, the throne is placed on the king's left on top of another throne as shown here. Which throne is it that resulted in a series of conflicts between the kingdom and the British Empire at the dawn of the 20th century? Ten seconds for an answer now.
The Zulu wooden throne.
Not the Zulu wooden throne, though that's a nicely made up answer there. Vinoo?
Ashanti. The Ashanti throne.
Prompt?
or the Ghana, the Kingdom of Ghana.
It has a name, or it has a descriptive name. I'm going to have to pass you on that. Samanth?
Pass.
Pat?
The Golden Stew.
The Golden Stool, that's what it's called. It is the Ashanti throne of the Kingdom of Ghana, but what we wanted was the Golden Stool, right? The Golden Stool. That's a good steal by Pat. Aniket, we come to you for your second question. Jewish writer Joseph de la Vega's Confusion of Confusions, published in 1688, is the first full-length work about which institution that had started in the early part of that century and is considered the oldest of its kind. So it says Confusion of Confusions, an adaptation of the classic masterpiece by Joseph de la Vega on the blank. 10 seconds.
The Amsterdam Stock Exchange.
That's an excellent answer. It is the Amsterdam Stock Exchange. As you might know, the Dutch East India Company was the first registered joint stock company in the world, and that began the Amsterdam Stock Exchange. Very nicely answered, Aniket. Well pulled out. Pat, your two directs. In the 50s, Otto Preminger pushed censorship boundaries by making Hollywood movies on taboo topics. One of them was The Man with the Golden Arm in 1955, a film noir focused on drug addiction with music composition from Elmer Bernstein. The other was Anatomy of a Murder in 1959, a courtroom drama where an alleged rape was central to the plot. This film had a jazz soundtrack composed by which legend with aristocratic mannerisms? This is often recognized as the first significant film score by an African American.
Duke Ellington?
Duke Ellington is right. So his friend Edgar McKentry thought his first composition was performed in a rather aristocratic manner and gave him the title or the nickname Duke for Duke Ellington. Nicely done. Your next question. A famous example of canting arms are those from the paternal family of Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. Work out the family's name.
Bowes Lion?
Bowes Lion, absolutely. Simple as that. Well worked out. This is the Bowes Lion. A recurve is a type of medieval bow, and the Queen Mother was from the Bowes Lion family. All right, we are done with 6 rounds. We have 2 rounds to go. We can see that Pat's in a bit of a healthy lead, but Samanth, Aniket, and Vinoo all have the chance to catch up, starting with Vinoo, whose 2 directs of round 7 come here. Which 20th century polytheistic religious and philosophical system was founded by Aleister Crowley after he wrote the Book of the Law? He claimed that he had received instructions dictated to him by an entity named Ivas and would go on to identify himself as the prophet of a new age, the Aeon of Horus, based on a spiritual experience that he and his wife Rose Edith had in Cairo in 1904. You have 10 seconds.
Oh, pass.
Passes to Aniket.
The Satanic Church.
Not the Satanic Church. Passes to Samanth.
I'll just make a Yellam Ivas and pass it.
Passing on to Pat.
Thelema?
Thelema is a terrific answer, Pat. That's absolutely right. This is Thelema. Great answering. Thelema. Okay, your second direct, Vinoo. Which cricketer who holds the record for the fastest double century in Test cricket played football for Rangers AFC and took up auto racing after retirement, coming 3rd in the 2013 South Island Sprint Car Championship?
Ethan Astle.
Nathan Astle, that's the right answer. He's 222 against England at Christchurch. 2002 was the fastest double century, also the second highest fourth score by a cricketer ever, Nathan Astle. Okay, Samanth. What shared first and last name, at least homonymically, but technically separated by one letter, connects two basketball players? The lesser known man in the photo had a 14-year career playing for the Supersonics, the Nuggets, the Bucks, and the Timberwolves, while the better known retired for the third time in 1996 after a hallowed career that included 5 NBA championships and 3 finals MVP awards. The latter remains one of the world's most visible campaigners for the Red Ribbon.
Johnson?
I will.
Prompter.
Will you give me a better answer?
Irving Johnson?
Irvin Johnson is right. Irvin Johnson is absolutely right. We weren't going to give points for Magic Johnson, but Irvin Johnson is fine. Someone playing it very safe, like the veteran quizzer that he is. Okay. Named after the first blank Nobel laureate, a street at CERN honors which physicist? He won the 1979 Nobel Prize along with Sheldon Glashow and Steve Weinberg.
I'll say Bardeen.
Not Bardeen. Passes to Aniket.
Khan.
Not Khan. Passes to Vinoo.
Abdul Salam.
Abdul Salam. That's the right answer. Abdul Salam. I think that's what Aniket was thinking of, but ended up saying Khan. That's, of course, Abdul Salam. And the first blank Nobel laureate is the documentary based on Salam. And the blank or the stars there are the word Muslim that was, of course, scratched out from his tomb, as we famously know. All right, Aniket, your 2 directs. According to A.S. Byatt, a Booker Prize winner herself, the aesthetic center of Murdoch's The Nice and the Good is which painting that also gave us a trademark pop culture icon associated with a particular comedy troupe? In the novel, this is Richard Biran's favorite painting depicting what he calls the only real kiss ever represented in a picture. Paula goes to see it in the National Gallery during their estrangement, and they meet in front of it when they decide to reconcile.
You know the name of the painting? Okay.
Yeah, we want the name of the painting.
Cupid and Psyche.
Cupid and whatever, that's not right. Samanth?
This Venus, Cupid, Folly, and Time.
That is an excellent answer, Samanth. Absolutely bang on right. Venus, Cupid, Folly, and Time by Bronzino, and the famous Terry Gilliam sketch of Cupid's foot in Monty Python and the Flying Circus. Great answer. Aniket? A common simple example of canting arms, the 2 images in the heraldry represent what erstwhile kingdom, now an autonomous community in the country. The region contains 11 World Heritage Sites, making it, along with Lombardy and Italy, the region with the most UNESCO World Heritage Sites in the world. You have 10 seconds.
Catalonia.
Not Catalonia. Passes on to Vinoo.
Castile and Leon.
Castile and Leon. That is absolutely right. This is Castile and Leon in northern Spain. Castile and Leon. All right. Final 2 questions of round 7 coming to Pat. Which form of shadow puppetry from the Indian state of Odisha largely narrates the stories from a popular epic? Its 2-word name contains the name of the epic's villain along with the local word for shadow.
Pass.
Passes on to Samanth.
Ravan Cha.
I'll prompt you.
Ravan Chaya or Ravan
That
Cha.
is Ravan Chaya is what we wanted, not Ravan Chow. Chow also is incidentally from Odisha, but what we wanted was Ravan Chaya or Ravan Chaya. That is correct. Of course, the epic, of course, being the Ramayana. Okay, final direct of round 7. Which cricketer who also represented England in football in a game played for Southampton FC for a season, including the FA Cup final, and briefly held the world record in long jump? His grave has an inscription which fittingly reads, cricketer, scholar, athlete, author, the ultimate all-rounder.
Fry.
Fry is correct. CB Fry, that is correct. CB Fry, all right. We come to the final round of the grand finale of FLQL season 4. Pat Gibson is leading with 18 points. Samanth Subramanian in second place with 13 points. Vinoo Sanjay on 11 and Aniket Khasgiwale on 9. All right. Let's go into the final round. Final 2 questions to Vinoo. This photograph of Lady Gaga for her album Born This Way was taken by which longtime collaborator of hers who also directed the music video? He recently reunited with her for the stills and video of the Chromatica ball earlier this year. Interestingly, if he were a sports person instead of a fashion photographer, he might have been at the receiving end of the then fastest delivery in cricket, 100 miles an hour bowled by Shoaib Akhtar in 2003, and thus may have appeared in another quad of this week's finale set.
Martin.
Not Martin. Passes on to Aniket.
Knight.
Say again.
Knight. KNIGHT. Knight.
And his full name would be?
Nick Knight.
Nick Knight. Yeah, that is correct. Aniket, no doubt getting it from the cricket reference over there. Nick Knight is correct. Vinoo, your final direct of this quiz. The hockey team at the 1968 Olympics had 3 players with the same first and last names who were differentiated within the team by the names Punjab, Railways and Services, representing the clubs they played for. None of them, however, was the greatest hockey player with that name. That distinction would be reserved for a senior pro, a 3-time Olympic gold medalist, widely regarded as one of the greatest ever to have played the game. What name is common to all 4 players?
You want the full name, I guess.
Yes, full name. Definitely the full name.
Balbir Singh.
Balbir Singh is correct. The older player being, of course, Balbir Singh Senior. That's Balbir Singh. All right, your directs are done. Vinoo, Samanth, your final 2 directs. The 1995 Pulitzer for General Nonfiction was awarded for a book written by Jonathan Weiner. The book explores evolution through the studies of Peter and Rosemary Grant, who showed that among the titler birds, natural selection takes place so rapidly that it can be seen in a matter of years. What are the 2 missing words in the title, referencing the external anatomical structures of these passerine songbirds that also helped establish the foundations of natural selection as we know it? So as you can see there, there's a book cover which says the blank of the blank. And don't go by the lengths of the blanks, they're just blanks kept there to hide the word. They aren't indicative of length.
These are the wings of the finches.
The wings of the finches. Nice guess. Passes on to Aniket.
The finches of Galapagos.
Not the finches of Galapagos. Passes on to Vinoo.
Pass.
Passes to Pat.
The beaks of the finches.
That is the right answer. This is the beak of the finches. The finches are all about the same size. The birds are all about the same size, but they mainly differ in the form of the beak, and the beak adapts according to the food that they eat. It's a very close one, Samanth, but unfortunately, Wings is not right. We wanted beak. Your final direct. Folks from Bell Labs have won a Nobel and an Emmy for inventing which device that has played a key role in TV and digital imaging. It was an integrated circuit containing an array of linked capacitors. Under the control of an external circuit, each capacitor can transfer its electric charge to a neighboring capacitor. Metal oxide semiconductor, or MOS, is the building block of it, which probably are the only invention in the world that has won its inventors both a Nobel and an Emmy. As an additional lateral clue, VG Siddhartha never worked here.
The charge coupled device.
Absolutely right. Charged coupled device, or CCD. And for those who are wondering about the last clue, VG Siddhartha was the founder of Cafe Coffee Day, the popular coffee chain in India that's also abbreviated to CCD. All right, good finish with Samanth. Aniket, your final two directs. A street at CERN was named after which theoretical physicist who was the first Japanese Nobel laureate awarded for his prediction of the pi meson, or the pion. Born with the surname Ogawa, in accordance with Japanese customs of the time, since he came from a family with many sons, but his father-in-law Genyo had none, he was adopted by Genyo and changed his family name from Ogawa to the name that we know him by. You have 10 seconds.
Suzuki.
Not Suzuki. Passes out to Vinoo.
Pass.
Samanth?
Pass.
Pat?
Yukawa.
Hideki Yukawa is a terrific answer, Pat. That gets you to 20 points. Hideki Yukawa. Terrific answer. Okay, Aniket, your final direct. Crowley had amassed quite a reputation as a mountaineer, beginning with feats in the Alps and moving on to the Himalayas with a famed attempt on K2. But on which other 8,000er in the eastern Himalayas, known as the Three Treasures of the Snow, did his high-handedness cause a mutiny and effectively ended his budding mountaineering career? You have 10 seconds.
Kanchenjunga.
Kanchenjunga is right. And you finish with a good answer, Kanchenjunga. Before we go to the final two questions of this grand finale, I'd like to give a big shout out and acknowledge the efforts of the writing team who put all of these questions over all of these games together. Aryapriya Ganguly, Abhinav Dasgupta, Srikanth Reddy, Risum Paul, Nitish Khadia, Suresh Shah, Vikas Plakot, Hari Parameshwaran, and Steve Perry, and a very tiny contribution of a couple of quads from me just for the grand finale. But these are the folks who have really held the league up together with these fantastic questions over the last 8 game weeks, the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the grand finale. So well done to all of you. Here are the final two directs of the grand finale to Pat Gibson. What in Jainism is divided into two halves, Sarpini and Avasarpini? This 3-word concept of phrase will remind you of a book series finished by Brandon Sanderson after the original author Robert Jordan died in 2007. A 2021 fantasy series produced by Amazon has brought it back into popular consciousness.
Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time is absolutely right. And with that, we go to the final question of this grand finale. And here you go, Pat. The book that won the 1988 Pulitzer Prize for General Nonfiction was written by Richard Rhodes and starts out with a description of Leo Szilard waiting for a stoplight to change. And the last chapter, Tongues of Fire, starts with an army engineer arriving at the Mariana Islands in March of 1945. What was this book about the making of?
America's Atomic Bombs, the Manhattan Project.
And that is an explosive answer to finish an explosive performance by Pat Gibson, who convincingly finishes on 22 points and wins the FLQL Season 4 Grand Finale. In second place is Samanth Subramanian from London on 14 points. In third place is Vinoo Sanjay from Mumbai on 12 points. And closely behind is Aniket Khasgiwale from Sydney on 11 points. But our clear winner for today is Pat Gibson from the UK on 22 points.
Well done, Pat. Well done.
Well done.
Thank
Well
you.
done. Great answers.
Thank
Few
you.
words for the organizers from you, Pat.
Tremendous questions. That's what I enjoy most. Really fantastic questions and tough competitions.
Thank you, Pat, and well played, everyone. Thank you for playing along. Samanth, Aniket, and Vinoo. Thank you very much. This is Venki Srinivasan saying thank you very much. Take care, and thanks for all of you who are watching this on YouTube. We will come back to you. Do sign up for Flames Season 2. The link is available just below the video. Thank you very much. Take care and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.